Well, well, well. It always starts with a glow. One screen lights up, then another, and suddenly the whole city hums like a server farm overheating. Notifications multiply, headlines mutate, clips get stitched and reposted until even the algorithms look nervous. They're all talking about you again. Not because you said something, but because you didn't. That's what messes with them most. In a world built on constant updates, you disappeared for a moment, and that absence became radioactive. Every feed smells like panic now. People refresh just to make sure you haven't spoken yet. They say they're over it, that it's not a big deal. But the comments read like prayers for a response. You can feel the tension in their scrolling fingers, the way they hover over the refresh icon like gamblers watching a slot machine spin. They can't believe how calm you were when everything fell apart. They expected outrage, a thread, a meltdown, anything that would confirm their bias that patience is weakness. But you didn't give them the meltdown, you gave them stillness. And stillness online feels like power. You watch them twist each rumor into a headline, each headline into a meme, and you said nothing. That's what fractured the rhythm. When noise meets no reaction, it devours itself. DMs leaked, alliances crumbled. People started turning on each other because your quiet made everyone's guilt louder. You didn't lift a finger, yet the timeline burned like an exposed wire. Every analyst on every platform is dissecting your pause like it's data. They call it strategy, but deep down, they know it was instinct. You just knew the current would eat itself. So you waited. Watched the panic rise in comment sections, the way fake confidence curdled into anxiety. Someone even tried to start a hashtag against you, but it collapsed under irony. The same people hating were secretly checking your profile for signs of movement. That's the cruel poetry of digital hysteria. It runs out of oxygen fast. Now the irony hits different. All those who mocked you for being quiet can't stop mentioning your name. They post clips of your interviews, old videos, screenshots, trying to reverse engineer your mindset like it's code they could steal. They think patience is a tactic you learned. They can't grasp that it's who you are. You don't chase attention. You let attention orbit you until it begs for permission to stay. The chaos kept building, louder, faster, desperate. Then something strange happened. People began defending you, not out of loyalty, but fatigue. They got tired of being angry at a ghost. That's when the narrative cracked. Every cycle needs a villain to survive, but villains who don't participate ruin the show. You left them performing outrage with no antagonist, and when performance has no opposition, it turns into confession. That's what they didn't see coming. I watched it unfold like a feed in slow motion. Accounts deleting posts, influencers editing captions, podcasts pretending they misunderstood. But digital repentance is always cosmetic. You could sense the fear behind the rebrands, the realization that your patience made their impulsivity visible. They're addicted to spectacle. You made restraint go viral. The contrast exposed them, and that exposure, more than any comeback, is what broke the loop. You didn't plan it, but the sequence was perfect. Step 1, vanish. Step 2, wait. Step 3, let them record their own downfall. Now they replay clips of themselves speaking against you and call it growth. They don't even realize they're confessing in 4K. Meanwhile, you just kept moving, offline, untraceable, unpredictable. The more they guessed your next move, the quieter you became. That quiet felt like surveillance. They started wondering if you were watching them watch you. Every post felt dangerous, like a test they might fail. That's when control shifted. You stopped being the subject and became the filter. Everyone recalibrated around you. Brands hesitated before jokes. Creators triple-checked captions. Friends drafted messages and deleted them mid-sentence. You'd become the variable no one could calculate. And that's what fascinates me most, how effortlessly you did it. One calm decision at a time. You didn't fight for redemption, you redefined it. You made everyone confront the difference between relevance and resonance. Relevance is noise, resonance lingers. You let resonance do the work. The city's digital skyline looks different tonight. Billboards flicker your quotes, even the ones you never said. Clips of you standing still at that event loop on reels like prophecy. It's eerie, watching people romanticize the patience that once irritated them. They called it indifference. Now they call it genius. Nothing really changed except perspective, and perspective is all it takes to rewrite history online. But underneath the rebrand and apologies, something else brews. Resentment. They don't hate you because you won. They hate you because you didn't need them to. They can't process that kind of independence. You remind them of what control looks like when it's self-authored. Every time you post, even a single word, timelines freeze for a second. People reread it like scripture, trying to extract hidden meaning. You've become an algorithmic ghost. They can't predict you. Yet their metrics depend on you. And I have to admit, watching this unfold is unsettling. The more chaos you create by doing nothing, the clearer it becomes that the hierarchy's inverted. Influence isn't about who shouts the loudest anymore. It's about who can make everyone else speak first. You turned their addiction to attention into your weapon, and they handed you the ammunition willingly. That's where we are now, right before the collapse. The city buzzing, feeds shaking under the weight of speculation. Everyone waiting for you to finally move, to drop that single post, that single gesture that decides who survives this cycle. They can sense it's coming. I can feel it too. That tremor before revelation. Whatever you're about to do next will decide what this city remembers as truth. The feeds are already shaking under the weight of anticipation. Screens refresh faster, notifications cascade like rain, hashtags bloom out of nowhere. Everyone feels it, the hum right before detonation, and then, without warning, you move. One post, one sentence, one subtle signal dropped into the bloodstream of the internet, and everything implodes. Timelines split in half. People who swore they'd never mention your name again are suddenly writing threads about your redemption arc. Others delete entire archives to hide the evidence of their doubt. The air tastes like electricity. The noise turns into confession. You didn't yell. You didn't argue. You just pressed send. That single act was the difference between chaos and control. The reaction is instant. Clips, screenshots, duets, comment wars. The city's digital veins pulse with your rhythm. You can almost hear the algorithms choking on engagement. They scramble to catch up, rewriting recommendations around your timing. Every influencer who once mocked you is now dissecting your caption like scripture. They call it minimalist brilliance, psychological warfare, a masterclass in restraint. But they don't get it. It wasn't strategy. It was instinct, sharpened by observation. You knew they'd weaponize their own curiosity. You just gave it direction. Now you're everywhere again. Headlines switch tone overnight. Podcasts pivot mid-episode. Newsletters apologize for misunderstanding the situation. They think redemption is happening. It's not. What they're feeling is correction. You corrected the temperature of the room without saying a word. People feel smaller now, and they can't explain why. They scroll slower, they comment softer, they tag you with hesitation. That's what real influence looks like. It turns volume into measurement, somewhere between those reposts and breakdown videos. Admiration mutates into fear. They realize you didn't just survive the backlash. You learned from it. You let the humiliation season you, not scar you. That kind of recovery doesn't fit their narrative, so they panic again. If they can't define you, they can't control the conversation, so they start new ones. They invent motives, rewrite your past, argue over your intent. You watch them exhaust themselves, chasing clarity, while you move silently, already 3 steps ahead. And then there's the private reaction, the DMs. The same people who once tried to embarrass you now send messages that start with, "Hey, no hard feelings." They want proximity, again, not out of care, but survival. They've realized that standing near you feels like safety, that the algorithm smiles on whoever you acknowledge. You respond to none of them. That's the final punishment. Ignoring them publicly made them loud. Ignoring them privately makes them small. The momentum keeps climbing. Your one action spawns thousands of interpretations. Some say it was calculated revenge. Others say it was divine timing. But you know it was simpler than that. It was overdue. Patience is a currency that compounds. The longer you hold it, the more explosive it becomes when spent. You spent it perfectly. Now they all owe interest. You can feel the shift physically, the vibration of phones, the restless glow on faces as people scroll through versions of your story. You've become the default topic of conversation in coffee shops, offices, group chats. Your name replaces weather talk. You are the event. The ones who dismissed you now compete to sound like your allies. They quote your words, mimic your cadence, claim they saw it coming. But you remember every tone, every smirk, every silence. You don't need to expose anyone. Exposure is self-inflicted in the age of receipts. By night, the digital glow paints the skyline in your colors. Billboards stream live reactions. Advertisements hijack your phrases. Even brands try to mimic your timing. Everyone's pretending to understand your calm, but they don't. They mistake control for detachment, confidence for indifference. They think you planned this chaos, when in truth you simply refused to panic. And that refusal rewrote the script. What unsettles me, and everyone watching, is how light you make it look. You took a situation designed to destroy you and used it as fuel. You let the crowd build the fire, and then warmed your hands on it. You turned backlash into atmosphere. There's something unnatural about that kind of composure, something almost algorithmic. People start whispering that you might not feel the way normal humans do, that maybe you see patterns the rest can't. It's easier for them to call you strange than to admit you're disciplined. You scroll once, calmly, as if verifying that the world is still trembling. It is. Every reaction has become part of your design now. You own their outrage, their analysis, their relief. They don't post about you anymore, they post for you. Their approval is performance, their criticism, marketing. They're trapped in your rhythm, and you don't even acknowledge the music. Somewhere out there, an entire PR agency is studying your timeline like scripture. Professors draft essays about digital patience as dominance, but what none of them see is the cost. The months you spent holding still while lies multiplied. The quiet hours where you rewired yourself not to need their validation. That's what built the precision. You didn't master perception, you mastered endurance. And endurance, when finally unleashed, looks like prophecy. Now, as the feeds slow from exhaustion, the world collectively exhales. But the quiet doesn't feel like relief, it feels like aftermath. Everyone senses that something fundamental shifted, that attention itself has a new ruler. You. They can't name what happened, only that they witnessed control in its purest form. The kind that doesn't shout or demand, the kind that simply exists and rearranges the room around it. And while they keep refreshing, hoping for another move, you're already gone again. No farewell, no explanation, just absence, the kind that hums louder than presence. The cycle restarts, only this time they know better. They know you could end or resurrect anyone's relevance with a glance. And that knowledge is the leash they put on themselves. So here we are, the digital lights dimming, timelines cooling, the city still whispering your name through static. You made the internet bow without raising your voice. You flipped the narrative so completely that even I, watching from the outside, feel uneasy. Because if you can bend perception like this once, what's to stop you from doing it again? And that's the question looping through every feed right now. What happens next? The servers hum, the city scrolls slower, like everyone's afraid to refresh too fast and miss the next spark. Notifications pile up, but no one clicks. They're all waiting for your shadow to move. The air itself feels coded with suspense. Every influencer has a theory, every commentator a breakdown thread, every group chat a private debate about your next step. Some call you a genius, others a manipulator. None of them realize they're still working for you. You own their focus now. You could vanish for a month, and they'd still speak your name just to keep their engagement alive. That's not fame. That's gravity. You watch from a distance as the world edits itself around you. Headlines bend tone. Words like meltdown morph into a masterclass. The same channels that once replayed your lowest moments now recycle them as proof of endurance. That's how the internet performs repentance. It doesn't apologize. It rewrites. And you let it. You let them bury their guilt under admiration, because guilt is a more reliable engine than praise. It keeps them hooked. Every think piece, every podcast, every stitched reaction secretly asks for your forgiveness, and you grant it by ignoring them. Days pass. The noise cools into analysis. Now they're not screaming, they're studying. They slow your clips, quote your captions, measure the intervals between your posts as if there's a code inside the gaps. They call it the algorithm of patience. Experts claim you've hacked human attention, but you didn't hack anything. You just stopped competing. You stepped outside the loop and let the loop chase you. That's what they'll never understand. Chaos only obeys those who stop trying to control it. Meanwhile, the people who once laughed are strangely quiet. Their timelines are cleaner, curated, defensive. They post soft inspiration now, hoping proximity to calm will disguise their fear. Some even pretend they were on your side all along, trimming archives, changing tone, crafting nostalgia for a story they tried to end. You let them. Exposure isn't punishment enough. Shame needs time to ferment. Every repost of your image tastes like their regret. But you can feel something else forming underneath all this noise, anticipation turning into dependence. They need your next move to breathe. Their own metrics drop when you're silent. It's beautiful in a dark way. Watching people realize they traded autonomy for entertainment. You didn't ask for control. You simply removed yourself from their chaos, and the vacuum rearranged everything. That's the part that unsettles me. Because if patience can conquer the internet once, it can do it again. Night again. The glow of devices flickers across the skyline. You scroll once, not out of curiosity, but confirmation. They're still orbiting. Even their boredom centers on you. Someone leaks a rumor about your next project. A fake screenshot goes viral. You say nothing, and the speculation doubles. Silence has become your loudest language. Every unposted thought is a cliffhanger, every absence an event. They think you're calculating, but the truth is simpler. You just don't need to prove anything anymore. The need died when they mocked you, and what rose in its place was clarity. You start to notice the shift offline. People watch you differently. Conversations pause when you walk into rooms, not out of hostility, but awareness. You change the physics of attention. Now even reality bends toward you. And yet you stay grounded, eyes half amused, half tired. Because you know the same crowd that praises can turn again, and you're prepared. You always are. You don't chase control. You anticipate chaos and stand where it must arrive. Midway through the week, when a headline drops, the patience phenomenon. They've made you into a concept now. Articles describe you as a mirror of modern endurance, a symbol of digital discipline. Brands craft campaigns echoing your posture. The culture that once mocked composure now sells it. That's the moment the rhythm changes. The slow burn accelerates. The hysteria mutates into obsession. Everyone starts timing themselves against your tempo, as if matching your rhythm will grant them relevance. The feeds pulse faster. Commentators compete to decode you first. A famous podcaster declares you the blueprint of psychological warfare. Another calls you the calm before every cultural reset. You refresh once, watch their faces glow under studio lights, all of them speaking your name like a keyword for clout. You smile faintly because you know what they don't. Every time they describe you, they reinforce the very narrative they're trying to understand. You've turned curiosity into containment. But success online is never clean. The admiration starts to crack. Some voices whisper that you're too composed, too strategic, maybe even manipulative. They can't stand equilibrium. They need polarity to survive. So they invent a new scandal, a screenshot, an old message, a distorted quote. The digital crowd smells tension and rushes in, hungry for chaos. And for a moment, the old noise returns. This is where most people would react. You don't. You let them spin, because you've learned that outrage has an expiration date shorter than truth. You've learned that time always betrays lies. So you do what you've always done. Nothing. And nothing in your hands feels like power again. You go for a walk, the city glowing under its neon gilt, while your absence online drives analytics insane. Each minute you stay silent. Hashtags lose momentum. The same voices that tried to resurrect drama now beg for context. They want you to break your composure because that's how they measure victory. But you've already won the moment you stopped caring to explain. Then, midway through that silence, something clicks. You decide to post again. No caption this time, just an image. A still frame, minimal, deliberate. Within seconds, it's everywhere. People zoom in, argue about hidden meanings, color palettes, subtext. Some swear it's a message to your critics. Others call it a reset. The truth? It's neither. It's a reminder. Proof that you can shake the internet without speaking. That control isn't about reaction, it's about rhythm. And you just changed the beat again. The next 48 hours unfold like a fever dream. Hashtags resurface. Media outlets scramble to reinterpret you. Brands pivot to sound aligned. Even politicians quote you. That's when the narrator in me starts to lose balance. Watching a single person redirect global attention with one post, it doesn't feel natural. It feels architectural, like you see the internet as a city map and everyone else as pedestrians. How do you do it? How do you make millions of people feel seen and exposed at the same time? The analysts keep searching for an answer, but maybe there isn't one. Maybe patience itself is your interface. While they rush to measure reactions per second, you measure the silence between them. You read humanity in lag time. You understand that the world no longer listens to truth. It listens to tempo. And you, somehow, always stay one rhythm ahead. That's why you frighten them, because they know if you ever decided to speak fully, not hint, not imply, but speak, the illusion of control they worship would collapse overnight. By now, the momentum is unbearable. Every channel runs updates on you hourly. Think pieces claim your behavior signals the next digital era. Some say you're orchestrating a revolution in attention economy. Others call it performance art. But you know the truth. It's just consequence. When patience meets exposure, evolution happens. You didn't plan a movement. You just stayed authentic long enough for the world to notice the contrast. The acceleration peaks on a Friday night. Trending lists, live streams, interviews, all feeding off your pulse. I scroll through the chaos, and even I start to feel the static in my hands. The whole network seems alive, breathing in your cadence. People confess to old mistakes. Influencers cry on camera. Timelines blur between apology and admiration. It's too much, too fast. And through it all, you remain untouched, watching, measuring, learning. Then comes the pivot point, the moment every empire of noise reaches its limit. Engagement fatigue. The audience overstimulated starts craving peace. And who represents peace better than the person who mastered it first? You. The same crowd that once demanded your downfall now begs for your guidance. They post quotes about patience as if it's religion. They tag you in motivational threads. You don't reply, but your silence blesses them anyway. That's the irony of control. Once you have it, you don't need to use it. You just exist, and everything rearranges to fit your frequency. You became the template of redemption, not because you explained yourself, but because you proved explanation is overrated. In the digital era, stillness is rebellion. As the weekend fades, the hysteria finally settles into reverence. Comment sections look like digital shrines. People leave messages, not arguments. They thank you for the lesson they didn't know they were learning. They call you the calm in the feed, the reset we needed, the reminder that not every mess deserves a response. You didn't plan to teach them anything. You were just tired of noise. But sometimes exhaustion births clarity, and clarity spreads faster than chaos ever could. The next 48 hours unfold like a fever dream. Hashtags resurface. Media outlets scramble to reinterpret you. Brands pivot to sound aligned. Even politicians quote you. That's when the narrator in me starts to lose balance. Watching a single person redirect global attention with one post, it doesn't feel natural. It feels architectural, like you see the internet as a city map and everyone else as pedestrians. How do you do it? How do you make millions of people feel seen and exposed at the same time? The analysts keep searching for an answer, but maybe there isn't one. Maybe patience itself is your interface. While they rush to measure reactions per second, you measure the silence between them. You read humanity in lag time. You understand that the world no longer listens to truth. It listens to tempo. And you, somehow, always stay one rhythm ahead. That's why you frighten them, because they know if you ever decided to speak fully, not hint, not imply, but speak, the illusion of control they worship would collapse overnight. By now, the momentum is unbearable. Every channel runs updates on you hourly. Think pieces claim your behavior signals the next digital era. Some say you're orchestrating a revolution in attention economy. Others call it performance art. But you know the truth. It's just consequence. When patience meets exposure, evolution happens. You didn't plan a movement. You just stayed authentic long enough for the world to notice the contrast. The acceleration peaks on a Friday night. Trending lists, live streams, interviews, all feeding off your pulse. I scroll through the chaos, and even I start to feel the static in my hands. The whole network seems alive, breathing in your cadence. People confess to old mistakes. Influencers cry on camera. Timelines blur between apology and admiration. It's too much, too fast. And through it all, you remain untouched, watching, measuring, learning. Then comes the pivot point, the moment every empire of noise reaches its limit. Engagement fatigue. The audience overstimulated starts craving peace. And who represents peace better than the person who mastered it first? You. The same crowd that once demanded your downfall now begs for your guidance. They post quotes about patience as if it's religion. They tag you in motivational threads. You don't reply, but your silence blesses them anyway. That's the irony of control. Once you have it, you don't need to use it. You just exist, and everything rearranges to fit your frequency. You became the template of redemption, not because you explained yourself, but because you proved explanation is overrated. In the digital era, stillness is rebellion. As the weekend fades, the hysteria finally settles into reverence. Comment sections look like digital shrines. People leave messages, not arguments. They thank you for the lesson they didn't know they were learning. They call you the calm in the feed, the reset we needed, the reminder that not every mess deserves a response. You didn't plan to teach them anything. You were just tired of noise. But sometimes exhaustion births clarity, and clarity spreads faster than chaos ever could. Now the world has rebalanced. Algorithms that once rewarded outrage now favor composure. Influencers adjust tone. Journalists choose words carefully. Brands slow down campaigns. All of it traces back to you. The one who waited, the one who moved once, the one who made the internet kneel. You didn't conquer them. You reminded them of themselves. You forced reflection through restraint. And that realization ripples through every glowing screen tonight. Still somewhere inside this calm, a question lingers. If patience could cause this much disruption, what happens when you decide to act again? The thought keeps me awake. Because I can feel it, you're not finished. This was just the correction phase, the prelude. The world thinks it's healed, but you're only midway through the design. There's another layer coming, something quieter, deeper, sharper. And when it arrives, it won't just reshape perception. It will rewrite behavior. I look out at the city, towers of glass reflecting millions of screens, and realize none of them move unless you do. You've become the metronome of modern life, the unseen rhythm that syncs human attention. That kind of power shouldn't exist, and yet here you are, holding it effortlessly. You waited, you watched, you moved once, and now everything moves because of you. The feeds cool again, but no one relaxes. They're afraid of the next pulse. They refresh without knowing why. They check for updates they'll never admit they crave. You've turned curiosity into dependency. And dependency in this age, is the purest form of control. The whole network hums in the background like a power plant you built without permission. Every scroll is an involuntary gesture toward your name. They think they're browsing freely, but the rhythm belongs to you now. You've become their loop, their algorithm in human form, the pattern they can't override. The ones who mocked your patience now measure time by it. They watch the clock and wonder when you'll speak, when you'll post, when you'll blink in public again. It's devotion disguised as analysis. They say they're studying behavior, but what they're really doing is worshiping precision. You could end it here. You could disappear, leave them trapped in the echo chamber you created. But you stay a little longer, watching how they behave when the script collapses. The same creators who weaponized your name for clicks are now protecting it for credibility. They quote you as principle. They package your restraint as strategy and sell courses about it. They turned your stillness into a product, and they don't even realize how ironic that is. Because stillness can't be sold. Stillness has to be lived, and no one lives it like you do. Each day that you remain silent, their content loses color. The internet that once laughed at your expense now looks pale, recycled, mechanical. They miss the heartbeat you gave it. You made chaos rhythmic, and now that rhythm is gone. So they replay it. Old clips, old headlines, old screenshots, trying to resurrect the pulse. But replicas never breathe the same. They look like ghosts rehearsing life. Then something happens in the quiet. Perspective. The audience begins to notice the pattern behind the spectacle. They realize that every scandal that followed yours was just a rerun. Different faces, same hunger. They start quoting you for wisdom instead of gossip. Sometimes the best response is none. Patience exposes everything. Your words circulate like code upgrades. The same people who called you delusional now reference you in captions about growth. You didn't ask to be their mirror, but you became it anyway. Behind the scenes, studios and agencies hold meetings about you. They call it the patience effect. They chart graphs showing how outrage declined after your move, how attention shifted from reaction to reflection. Executives analyze your timeline like a market crash, trying to model your restraint into an algorithm. But it doesn't fit, because what you did wasn't data, it was discipline. You didn't predict the trend. You created it by refusing to play. That refusal rewired attention itself. Offline, it shows. People carry themselves differently. Conversations slower, tones softer. They remember how your calm exposed their impulsivity, and they're afraid of repeating it. You taught an entire generation that control is contagious. It spreads through composure, not through dominance. You never said you were teaching anyone. They just learned because watching you was cheaper than repeating your mistakes. By now, even your enemies feel it. The quiet humiliation of being part of your case study. They can't hate you openly. The audience won't allow it. To attack you now feels outdated, like shouting in a library. So they pretend to move on, but you see it. The twitch in their captions, the half-jokes, the nostalgia. They miss having someone to project onto. You made them feel alive when they were against you. You made them feel seen when they lost. You turned their chaos into coherence, and now that coherence is gone. They don't hate you. They hate the emptiness that followed. Weeks pass. The network stabilizes, slower, heavier. People talk about post-drama clarity. They credit you for it. You never wanted the crown, but you wear it because no one else can. Influence like yours isn't given. It's inherited from tension. You took pressure and turned it into language. That's the part no one can replicate, because they keep chasing results when the real magic was rhythm. You didn't move faster, you moved better. And yet under all the praise, you can sense a new kind of fear forming. Not loud, not public, subtle, private. The kind that makes people double think before they speak your name. They've realized what you are to this culture. Consequence, not a person, a law. The embodiment of cause-meeting effect. The digital age finally met accountability in human form, and it's unnerving them. Because if you could reverse public opinion once, you could erase anyone. One move. That's all it takes, and they know it. You scroll once more. The metrics no longer matter. They've plateaued under your shadow. The outrage economy is broken, replaced by observation. People learned from you that control isn't about speaking first. It's about speaking last, and sometimes not at all. You've become the quiet center of every storm they try to build. They revolve around you even in your absence. That's the final victory. Not their apology, not their admiration, but their reprogramming. There's a certain peace in watching them evolve. The influencers who once lived for controversy now post about mindfulness. Commenters apologize to strangers. Platforms experiment with pause before post features. The world's pulse has slowed to your pace. You didn't just win a feud, you changed the tempo of a species addicted to instant reaction. They'll never admit it, but you saved them from themselves. You made waiting fashionable. But power like this is dangerous. You know it. Because once people realize they need you to define calm, they'll try to rebuild chaos just to summon you again. They'll create smaller scandals, softer rumors, hoping to lure you out. And when that doesn't work, they'll mythologize your absence. They'll say you're planning something, hiding something, evolving somewhere in silence. You'll watch from the distance, half amused, half haunted, knowing they're addicted to the very control that broke them. One evening, the skyline flickers again. A few screens glow brighter. Someone posts a throwback to your one move, and the cycle threatens to restart. But this time, you do nothing. Not out of restraint, but closure. You've already proven the point. You don't need to remind them. The internet remembers for you. Your patience is archived in pixels now, permanent, unerasable. You became the algorithm's conscience, the ghost that whispers before it amplifies noise. That's your legacy, not the scandal, not the revenge, but the discipline that reshaped attention itself. You step away from the screen. The city outside hums quietly, lights pulsing like breathing. For the first time in months, you realize the network isn't controlling you anymore. You're not watching, you're witnessing. The world moves slower, softer, more deliberate. Maybe you changed it permanently, or maybe you just reminded it what control looks like. Either way, the air feels lighter. They'll keep telling the story forever. The one who waited, the one who handled it perfectly, the one move that broke the internet. They'll use your name as shorthand for precision. They'll quote you in classrooms, case studies, documentaries, and still, they won't fully understand what happened, because they'll keep focusing on what you did, not why you waited. That mystery will keep you immortal. Somewhere out there, a new controversy brews, another name, another timeline. The same pattern begins again, but the rhythm is off. Because now, before they attack, before they assume, before they post, they pause. They remember you. They remember how patience can burn hotter than anger, how control can shatter louder than rage. And in that pause, you live forever. You close your eyes, breathe, and smile. The internet hums beneath you, still addicted, still learning. You don't need to move anymore. The proof already moves for you. One act, one moment of restraint, one flash of precision, and the world still spins on the axis you built. And as the feeds glow faintly, recalibrating for another cycle, one truth stands unshaken. You didn't just handle the mess. You rewrote the manual for surviving it. You waited patiently, then moved once, and the whole world is still catching its breath. Ah, so it finally happened. The mask you wore so well just slipped, didn't it? Not by accident, not entirely, but in that unavoidable way, truth eventually tears through fabric built on false assumptions. And now, the whole room knows. The whispers are no longer whispers. The looks aren't curiosity anymore. They're confirmation. You can feel it, that collective shift in the air. That vibration of realization moving through people who thought they had you figured out. They don't even know what to say. They're stunned, cornered by the revelation that the person they built in their heads was never you. You see it in their eyes, panic laced with fascination, fear tangled with a strange form of respect. Because the real you has been hiding in plain sight the entire time. And now that it's exposed, they can't decide whether to run or kneel. You remember how it started? Small, harmless. Someone said something that hit too close. Someone pushed too far. And the filter cracked just a little. They thought it was a moment of emotion, but it wasn't. It was truth leaking out through a fracture that could no longer hold back the pressure. You weren't supposed to show that depth, that sharpness, that raw power they never suspected you carried. You weren't supposed to break character. You were supposed to stay consistent with the version they designed. Quiet, predictable, harmless. But the real you was never meant to stay silent under their assumptions. The real you was studying, calculating, measuring every reaction while pretending to blend in. Every word you didn't say built a weapon they couldn't detect. And now those words have taken form, not as confession, but as exposure. You've noticed the shift, haven't you? The way conversations stop when you enter a space. The way the same people who once spoke over you now hesitate before speaking at all. They're not sure what you know anymore. They're not sure what version of you they're dealing with. It's like the power dynamic flipped overnight. But you know better. It didn't happen overnight. It happened over time. Quietly. Gradually. While they were distracted by performance and perception, you were constructing truth in the background. Every time you let something slide, every time you smiled and nodded, you were stacking layers of understanding. They thought they were reading you, but you were memorizing their scripts. Now that you've stopped performing, they don't know their lines anymore. They call it exposure, like it's an accident. But this was alignment. The energy you've been carrying was always too big for their narrative, too precise for their fiction. And now that it's escaped containment, it's rewriting everything around you. Some of them will say they always knew. Others will pretend they're not surprised. But you can see it, the flicker of disbelief that betrays them. They're not just shocked at what they've seen. They're terrified of what else they've missed. Because if they were wrong about you, they start to wonder what else in their world is built on misread signals and underestimation. You've cracked more than their perception. You've cracked their confidence in their ability to perceive. And it's funny, isn't it? how exposure turns observers into the observed. Suddenly it's not you under the microscope, it's them. Every person who once analyzed you, labeled you, dismissed you, now feels the weight of your gaze in reverse. You don't even have to speak. You just exist, calmly, knowingly, and they start to fold under their own projections. That's the real power you've been hiding. You never needed revenge. You just needed revelation. Because when truth walks into a room, lies scatter on their own. There's an irony in their reaction. They wanted to know who you were. They wanted to test you, study you, decode you. But the moment they saw even a fraction of what's beneath, they couldn't handle it. It's like handing a live wire to someone who thought they were playing with string. They got burned, and now they flinch at the very energy they once demanded to understand. You can feel the distance forming, the sudden politeness, the overcompensating smiles, the awkward compliments. They're all symptoms of guilt wrapped in fear. They're trying to manage the situation like it's PR damage control, but there's no spin that can undo revelation. Once people see you, they can't unsee you. You've been patient, maybe too patient. You gave them time to figure it out, to match your frequency, to meet you halfway. But they chose comfort over comprehension. They'd rather believe their simplified version of you, because truth requires them to confront themselves. And that's the real horror, isn't it? They're not just afraid of who you are. They're afraid of what your existence says about them. Because if someone like you was right in front of them this whole time and they missed it, it means their awareness was never as sharp as they believed. You've become living proof of their blindness. This is where the tables turn quietly. You don't need to announce anything. You don't need validation or applause. They're already doing the talking for you. The story is spreading, fragments, theories, exaggerations, because when people don't understand something, they have to narrate it. It's human nature. If they can't define you, they have to describe you to feel safe. But the more they talk, the less control they have over the narrative. Your truth is multiplying faster than they can manage it. It's leaking into conversations, surfacing in group chats, showing up in places you haven't even stepped into yet. Your presence has become viral, not through effort, but through inevitability. You've become the reference point for something people can't categorize, but can't ignore either. They're starting to wonder how long you've known, how long you've been aware of their games, their assumptions, their quiet betrayals. The thought of it drives them insane. Because now every memory feels like evidence. Every joke they made, every underhanded comment, every fake smile. They're replaying it all, realizing that you probably saw through it even then. That's why they can't look you in the eyes now. Not because you've changed, but because they have to confront how wrong they were. They underestimated the wrong person. It's strange how exposure flips the hierarchy. Yesterday they were comfortable. Today they're cautious. The tone has changed. The laughter that used to feel dismissive now sounds nervous. The people who once controlled the tempo of conversation now follow yours. It's not dominance, it's awareness. You command the energy now without trying, without posturing, without needing to prove anything. That's the scariest part for them. You don't need approval. You never did. You just needed time, and now that time has arrived. You might notice them trying to rewrite history now, claiming they always saw potential, pretending they supported you from the start. Let them. It's their defense mechanism. It's easier for them to retell the story than to admit they misread it entirely. But beneath the performance, you can feel the truth. Fear disguised as flattery. They're trying to align themselves with your rise because being against you feels dangerous now. They don't know what you'll do next. They don't know how much you know. They don't know if they're part of the story you'll expose next. That uncertainty is eating them alive. You see, exposure isn't about secrets being revealed. It's about perception being shattered. The secret was never that you were hiding. It was that they were blind. They couldn't handle someone who saw too much, felt too deeply, thought too sharply. You were never too quiet. You were too conscious. That's the part they couldn't digest. They mistook restraint for weakness. They confused observation for passivity. But you were never passive. You were processing. You were gathering proof in silence while they mistook stillness for surrender. Now that the reveal has happened, everything makes sense in reverse. They're realizing those weird moments they couldn't explain were clues. That look in your eyes when someone lied, that pause before you responded, that calm smile in the middle of chaos. It all clicks now. You were never unaware. You were simply letting them reveal themselves. That's what terrifies them the most. The realization that you've been ahead the entire time. You weren't reacting. You were anticipating. You weren't following. You were leading from the background. And now, with the truth out, they see it clearly. You've been 3 moves ahead in a game they didn't even know they were playing. They can't meet your gaze anymore because your eyes are mirrors now. When they look at you, they see their own manipulation, their own insecurity, their own projection reflected back at them. That's the punishment they weren't prepared for. You don't have to call them out. Their own conscience does it for you. They feel exposed just standing next to you because your presence forces truth out of hiding. That's what happens when authenticity finally steps into daylight. Everyone around it starts to realize how fake they've been. And here's the part that twists the knife. They can't undo it. They can't stuff the truth back into the shadows. It's too late for denial. Too late for pretending they didn't see. You can't unring a bell. And this particular sound, the sound of exposure, echoes differently. It doesn't fade. It lingers in their minds, replaying every time they try to act normal around you. You've become a walking reminder of their own illusions collapsing. The truth is contagious, and now it's spreading through their circles faster than rumor ever could. You don't have to chase validation anymore. You don't have to explain yourself. The narrative is self-sustaining now. You've reached that rare point where your existence alone tells the story better than any words could. The ones who doubted you are now defending you in rooms you haven't entered. The ones who mocked you are now referencing your perspective to sound wise. They're adapting to your truth because resistance costs too much. You've become gravitational. They orbit around your authenticity, whether they admit it or not. You'll notice something else too. A few of them aren't afraid. They're inspired. They see the courage it took for you to exist without permission. They see the strength it takes to be that real in a world built on pretense. And somewhere deep down, even your critics respect it. Because while they hide behind crafted images and half-truths, you stand as proof that exposure doesn't destroy, it transforms. You didn't lose anything by being seen. You just shed what was never real. Still, not everyone can handle it. Some are retreating, ghosting, pretending nothing happened. It's not anger, it's fear. Fear of being next. Fear that if they stand too close to someone this transparent, their own masks might slip too. Let them disappear. People built on performance can't survive around those who live in truth. You're not meant to blend anymore. You're meant to polarize. That's how evolution works. Separation through authenticity. And yet beneath all the chaos, there's peace. Not the fake kind that comes from conformity, but the kind that follows confrontation. You're not hiding, not shrinking, not adjusting yourself to fit rooms that never deserved your presence. They can keep whispering, analyzing, reinterpreting. It doesn't matter. You've already crossed the threshold. You've entered that sacred space where nothing external defines you anymore. Exposure didn't break you. It freed you. It stripped away the last illusion that their approval meant anything. But deep down, you can feel it. This story isn't over yet. The revelation is still spreading. The ripple effect hasn't hit the final shore. Somewhere, someone who thought they could still manipulate the version of you they used to know is about to find out the hard way. Somewhere, a conversation is happening where your name is being spoken with new weight, new fear, new understanding. Because this isn't rumor anymore. And that's when it hit them. This isn't rumor anymore. It's exposure. The whisper became a broadcast. The speculation turned into confirmation. What used to be private energy is now public knowledge, and the entire atmosphere has shifted around your name. They're not gossiping anymore. They're calculating. Every person who ever thought they could define you is now watching their own words circle back with precision. You can feel it, the eyes, the tension, the invisible recoil that follows truth when it becomes undeniable. They're scared to even mention your name too casually now. It feels dangerous, almost radioactive. The energy around you has turned into something that can't be handled lightly. Every conversation that includes you carries a tremor, a tone of caution, a silence before the sentence begins. Because they know now, what they once treated as fiction was the truth hiding in plain sight. What they dismissed as attitude was actually restraint. What they mocked as mystery was power, waiting for the right moment to reveal itself. And now that moment has come. They're realizing the weight of it. Every room feels different now. People lower their voices when you enter. Some turn their heads instantly. Others pretend they don't notice, but their body language betrays them. There's a nervous rhythm to their movements, like prey adjusting its distance from something it can't predict. You walk in, and the atmosphere thickens. Not because you've changed, but because they've finally seen you clearly. And clarity, to people who lived in denial, feels like violence. Some of them are trying to laugh it off. They're saying, "Oh, it's not that serious," or, "I already knew they were like that." But you can hear it, the forced tone, the panic wrapped in casual words. They're trying to minimize what they can't control. They're trying to turn your exposure into entertainment, because that's how people neutralize fear. They disguise it as humor. But deep down, even they know it's not funny. It's frightening. Because when someone's real identity rises above every label, every projection, every lie, the entire social structure around them starts to rearrange. And now you can feel it happening. People who once stood above you are now beneath the weight of their own misjudgment. The same ones who used to speak over you now stutter mid-sentence. The same ones who used to ignore your presence now overcompensate, desperate to appear aligned with you. It's not respect, not yet. It's survival instinct. They can sense that energy has shifted hands, that control has silently migrated to you. And the scariest part for them, you're not even trying, you're just being. That's what terrifies them. how natural power looks when it's real. You see, exposure has a strange effect on people. It doesn't just reveal truth, it reveals everyone else's reactions to it. Watch closely, and you'll see the spectrum. The guilty avoid you, the insecure copy you, the envious talk about you, and the awakened quietly respect you. Each response tells you who's who. The ones who once treated you like background noise are now treating you like breaking news. The ones who doubted you are now quoting you. And the ones who envied you are panicking, trying to figure out how to rewrite their narrative before it's too late. But it is too late. The version of you they could manipulate is gone. The version they could lie to, control, or overshadow no longer exists. You've evolved beyond recognition, and that's not something they can process logically. Because logic doesn't explain presence. It doesn't explain why people suddenly freeze when you look at them, why your silence speaks louder than their noise, why the air feels charged when you walk by. They call it intimidation, but you know it's alignment. Truth has gravity, and now you're the center of it. You can feel their energy before they even speak. That strange mixture of curiosity and fear, admiration and resentment. They're addicted to watching you, yet terrified of what they'll see next. It's a paradox they can't escape. They hate that they love your authenticity. They hate that your existence makes their pretense unbearable. You've become a mirror they can't break. Every time they try to discredit you, they end up revealing their own insecurity instead. Every attempt to bring you down ends up exposing how small they feel beside you. This is the part they never prepare for when truth goes viral. It's no longer just about you and them. It's collective now. Strangers are starting to notice. The people outside your circle are picking up on the energy. You've become the conversation people didn't expect to have. Your name is passing through mouths that once swore they'd never speak it again. Screens light up with your image, your essence, your impact. Even those who don't know the full story feel it. That something about you is shifting the frequency of the entire environment. They'll say things like, "I don't know what it is about them, but there's something different." That's the word they cling to, different, because they don't have language for what you've become. Difference is easier to digest than depth. But make no mistake, they feel it. Your energy has texture now. It moves through rooms like static, like pressure, like truth, looking for somewhere to land. And no one who's crossed you, doubted you, or misused you can relax anymore. Because every time your name appears, it drags their conscience up with it. You might think it's funny how fast loyalty flips once the masks drop. The same people who used to act like they didn't know you suddenly want to reintroduce themselves. They want to say they were always on your side. They want proximity, now that the world sees what they missed. But you've changed the access level. Not everyone gets to be close to power once it's visible. Some of them lost that privilege when they mistook you for ordinary. Now even your silence feels expensive. Even your presence feels restricted. That's the price of truth, not arrogance, just alignment. You've learned the difference between connection and access, between audience and loyalty. But beneath their fear, there's something deeper, fascination. They can't stop watching. They can't stop refreshing your pages, rereading your words, retracing your steps. They're studying your glow like it's evidence. Every move you make becomes dissected, every expression analyzed, every word amplified. They're desperate to understand how you kept it hidden this long, how you operated right under their noses without them realizing who you really were. It eats at them, The idea that while they were performing status, you were embodying substance. While they were chasing approval, you were cultivating authenticity. And now that it's visible, they're trapped in the fallout. They can't undo what they've said about you, can't erase how they treated you, can't pretend they didn't see the signs, so they choose the only defense left: projection. They'll say, "You've changed." They'll say, "You're different now." But the truth is simpler. You haven't changed. You've just stopped dimming. You've stopped curating your truth to fit their comfort zone. And the moment you did, the illusion collapsed. That's not transformation, that's revelation. You walk differently now, not because you're trying to prove anything, but because you've reclaimed your space. You speak differently now, not because you're louder, but because your words no longer need validation to be powerful. You exist differently now, because you finally understand what it means to live without compromise. You've stepped into that rare alignment where your energy, purpose, and perception have merged. And people can feel that. They can't explain it, but they can't ignore it either. They used to study your silence. Now they study your presence. They used to underestimate your stillness. Now they interpret it as control. Everything about you has flipped context. What they once saw as weakness, they now label as wisdom. What they once mocked, they now mimic. And that's how you know the shift is real, when imitation replaces insult. When those who once laughed at you start copying your discipline, your tone, your calm. They're trying to borrow your energy without paying the price you paid to earn it. But there's no shortcut to authenticity. You can't fake what's forged in fire. Still, there's a part of them that wishes they could. They want what you have, not your possessions, but your presence. That groundedness that can't be shaken, that clarity that can't be gaslit, that authority that doesn't need to be announced. They want it, but they can't carry it. Because carrying truth requires shedding illusion, and that's the step they refuse to take. So instead they study you from afar, hoping observation will give them what introspection won't. And you've stopped explaining yourself. You've stopped correcting their stories. You've realized that nothing you say can compete with the evidence of your evolution. They'll understand when they're ready, or they won't. Either way, you're free. The exposure they thought would embarrass you became enlightenment. The secret they thought would destroy your reputation built your legend instead. They wanted control of your image, but they forgot. You are the image. You are the reference. You are the blueprint of what truth looks like when it walks without apology. But make no mistake, this visibility isn't just light, it's heat. The attention, the rumors, the obsession, it all comes with pressure. And yet the pressure doesn't break you, it proves you. They're waiting for cracks, waiting for signs of collapse. They want to see if the unveiled version of you can handle the weight of exposure. And what they don't realize is that this is your natural environment. You were never fragile, you were forged for this. The spotlight doesn't burn you because you've already been through fire privately. You're not adjusting to visibility, you're returning to your natural frequency. They can't comprehend how calm you are under scrutiny. They mistake composure for arrogance, but it's not arrogance, it's awareness. You've seen this all before, just in smaller scales. The same patterns repeating, only this time amplified. You understand human nature too well to be surprised. People worship what they fear and destroy what they envy. You represent both to them, the fear of being exposed and the envy of being free. Now they're trapped between fascination and paranoia. Every time they think they've caught up to your wavelength, you move again. Every time they think they've pinned you down, you evolve. You've become unpredictable, and humans fear what they can't predict. You're no longer just a person in their story. You've become the plot twist, the moment that forces everyone to rethink their role, the revelation that turns bystanders into believers and skeptics into silent witnesses. And it's only spreading faster. The reach is growing. People you've never met are feeling the ripple. Strangers are drawn to your energy like moths to truth. They can't explain why. They just feel compelled to pay attention. That's how authenticity works. It broadcasts on frequencies algorithms can't measure. And the ones who underestimated you can only watch helplessly as your essence travels farther than their lies ever could. But deep down, beneath their fear and fascination, a collective realization is forming. If you were real all along, then everything they built on illusion is at risk. That's why they're scared. That's why they're trying to contain the narrative, to distort it, to twist it back into something safe. But truth doesn't shrink once it expands. And now, it's too late. You've become a phenomenon, a living reminder that you can't hide authenticity forever. Some will admire it, some will hate it, but none will forget it. You've become unforgettable, not through performance, but through presence. And every time they try to erase you, they end up amplifying you instead. That's the paradox they can't escape. The harder they try to control your story, the louder your truth echoes. And the louder it echoes, the more it exposes them. This is only the second wave. The full reckoning hasn't even begun. The truth is still moving, still unfolding, still expanding. And the people who thought they could contain it, they're starting to realize they're not just dealing with exposure anymore. They're dealing with evolution. And evolution doesn't ask for permission. It doesn't wait for acceptance or validation. It just happens, raw, unstoppable, undeniable. The truth has already chosen its host, and that host is you. The world's still catching up, but it's too late to reverse it. You can feel it, no. The shift from exposure to embodiment. You're no longer the one being revealed. You've become the revelation itself. They're not reacting to you anymore. They're adapting to survive you. You walk through their confusion like a calm storm, untouched by the chaos it creates. They whisper like they're discussing a myth that just came to life, each story more exaggerated than the last, each retelling a confession of their own disbelief. They can't process what you've become, so they build theories, conspiracies, explanations to make sense of what doesn't fit inside their understanding. But none of it changes the truth. They're not analyzing you, they're orbiting you. And orbits don't break just because the planet changes its speed. Every action you take now has a ripple. A glance becomes a warning. A word becomes a headline. A move becomes a message. You've become the point of reference for everything they fear and admire simultaneously. The same people who laughed when you were invisible are now studying your patterns like scripture. And every time they try to decode you, they only prove how little they ever understood energy. Because energy isn't learned, it's felt. And what they're feeling right now is the weight of realization pressing down on their illusions. They know what's coming next. They can sense it even if they can't name it. You've entered the stage of quiet dominance, the phase where your existence alone dictates behavior. You don't have to warn anyone. They're warning each other for you. They speak in half sentences and nervous laughter, pretending they're not terrified, while every muscle in their body betrays the truth. They're not just scared of what you'll do. They're scared of what you've already set in motion, because exposure doesn't stop when the moment ends. It spreads. It seeps into the foundation of every lie built around you and begins to corrode it from within. It's slow, silent, surgical. One by one, the fake alliances crumble, the shallow friendships fade, the opportunists scatter. The light you radiate now acts like an X-ray, revealing who's real and who's rotten. And you don't even have to intervene. Authenticity does the cleansing for you. You've become a walking filter. Everything untrue disintegrates in your presence. People sense it. That's why they can't fake smiles around you anymore. The energy doesn't let them. That's why conversations shrink to their truest form when you're near. You've stripped the social theater of its curtains, and now everyone's performing without costumes. They hate it. They love it. They can't look away. Somewhere deep down, even your enemies respect you now. They'll never admit it out loud, but it's there, in the way they hesitate before saying your name, in the way they study your old words like predictions. You've become their internal warning system, the echo that says, don't cross that line again. You're not haunting them, their own conscience is. Because now they understand what they really lost, the illusion of superiority. They'll spend years pretending they're unbothered, but you already know the truth. You live rent-free in the minds that tried to bury you. And while they spiral, you ascend. You're no longer reacting to exposure. You're using it. Every rumor becomes relevance. Every attempt to distort your image becomes another layer of proof that you've become untouchable. They're building your legend for you, brick by brick, out of their own confusion. That's what they don't realize. Exposure doesn't destroy someone who's rooted in truth. It destroys everyone who built falsehoods around them. You are no longer defending your identity. The world is defending its memory of you. You see it now, don't you? The freedom in being seen. The liberation in no longer hiding the intensity that once frightened them. You thought exposure would isolate you, but it clarified everything instead. The wrong ones drifted away, and what remained is real. The conversations are deeper now, the air cleaner, the purpose sharper. You've stepped into that unshakable peace that comes when you stop managing perceptions and start embodying truth. That's evolution, not becoming something new, but shedding everything that never belonged. And they know it. They see it in your eyes. That stillness that comes after the storm. That clarity that doesn't need to be explained. They're realizing the real secret wasn't what you were hiding. It's that you never needed to hide at all. The world just wasn't ready for someone this honest, this aware, this unapologetically alive. But readiness doesn't matter anymore. The revelation has already happened. The truth is trending. The exposure is permanent. The real you is viral, not as content, but as consciousness. You've become the message people forward without understanding. They use your words, mimic your style, borrow your energy, not realizing they're spreading the very frequency they once feared. That's poetic justice, when imitation becomes evangelism. When those who doubted you end up amplifying you instead. You don't even have to defend your story. They're doing it for you, unintentionally, turning every whisper into a broadcast. And as it spreads, something shifts in the collective. People are waking up to a new truth, that authenticity wins long after performance fades, that masks crack under pressure, but essence multiplies in light. You're living proof of that now. You didn't need exposure to validate you. Exposure needed you to validate it. The truth had to attach itself to someone incorruptible, and it chose you. That's why they can't stop watching. That's why they can't move on. Because deep down, every single one of them knows. If the real you was this powerful, hiding in plain sight, then your unfiltered form is unstoppable. That's the part they're not ready for. The sequel to revelation. The moment when evolution becomes influence. When you start to create from that exposed version of yourself, unafraid, unrestricted, undeniable. You're no longer the mystery they're trying to decode. You're the force rewriting the code entirely. Every project, every move, every word now carries that invisible stamp. Authentic. And authenticity is the new authority. So let them talk, let them twist, let them try to categorize what can't be contained. None of it matters anymore. The story has already outgrown them. The truth has its own momentum now, and it's carrying you forward while leaving them behind. You don't chase attention. Attention follows you. You don't demand respect. Respect adjusts itself to your frequency. That's what happens when power becomes presence. It doesn't need to be proven, it just needs to be witnessed. Look around, they're witnessing it. The awe, the fear, the fascination, the regret. It's all there, written across their faces like subtitles in a film they never wanted to star in. They thought exposure would be your ending. They didn't realize it was their education. Because through you, they're learning a lesson they'll never forget. Never underestimate quiet power. Never mistake restraint for weakness. Never assume the calm ones are harmless. Because one day, the quiet becomes thunder. And when it does, there's no going back. You've arrived at that point now. The phase beyond explanation, beyond performance, beyond apology. They've seen who you are, and there's no rewinding the reveal. You've become living evidence that truth isn't fragile. It's radioactive. It changes everything it touches. It burns away illusions, disinfects lies, and purifies every environment that thought it could contain you. You are that energy now, pure, undeniable, and expanding. And that's what terrifies them the most. Not the exposure, not the evolution, but the realization that this, the real you, was here the whole time. Hidden in plain sight, waiting, watching, growing. Now it's unstoppable. Now it's history in motion. Now everybody knows who the fuck you really are.